everybody. It's like we all slept in different places last night. It's funny how when you wake up and just get on the computer, here I am in my bedroom, which looks a lot like the church sanctuary. And
Mm.
Sam, you're actually the closest to your actual bedroom because you're in your basement bunker office,
Yeah,
right?
right underneath the kitchen.
And
So
Sam, you do look like you just woke up. You do have a little bit of a bedhead thing going on.
yeah, I do. I did. I tried to tame it, but I didn't, get it wet or anything. So
Welcome, everybody. This is the one Sunday of the year we take off, and we encourage everyone to just do church in their pajamas because it's like a Sabbath. Instead of once every seventh day, it's one Sunday out of 52 that we've taken off. So,
very biblical.
Sabbath Sunday is such a great idea because we have a very committed core of volunteers and leaders. And with the merge, we have a even bigger group of people. And it is really important. As you know, Sabbath is resting from our work so that God can do his work. And
so let's talk about what happened in 2025. When the year began, I don't know if any of us knew that we would be sitting together in our pajamas talking about how the year went.
I think 2025 starts with us fighting in Pump House in 2024.
You, all three of us, or just you and I, Sam?
Just you and I.
Yeah. What were we fighting about?
We had this like weird idea about what would it look like for us to do ministry together.
Yeah.
And we ended up I don't know if it was a fight, but like we ended up I don't know if at that point any of us thought that this was a possibility.
Yeah. It was more of a dream. And
Well, it seemed it at that moment it didn't seem like a bad dream, it just seemed like a weird dream.
yeah. Yeah. If I remember correctly, one of us, I think it was you that broached the subject, talked about the two churches becoming one. I think that might have been in November.
Yeah.
So we're talking 13 months ago. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah. 2024, November of 2024.
Okay. And so, like a lot of good dreams, they happen over lunch, drawing on napkins, eating good food, and friendship. I, it is cool that what we're doing now started from a friendship.
You guys were in the process of trying to figure out what the next
Um,
phase Vineyard Longmont was going to
yeah,
be. And
we were in a YMCA. I saw the vacant building. I talked to somebody, and they said that used to be Reve's building. So I just showed up, and yeah, there you were in a cloud of dust. And I don't remember if it was that time or another time, but you had some theology books that I had a common interest in, and
Mhm.
so I think we went straight to that. And then over time, we would just get together and hang out. I think, Sam, I think you're a friend to a lot of people, and so I got to join the circle of one of Sam's many uh, good, deep friendships.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And honey, I remember coming home to you saying, "Hey, we're throwing out this idea of merging churches." And what was your initial response?
I wasn't sure it could work because it's coming from two different streams of um, Christianity. And although I have always credited myself as being a closet AG person, if I wasn't a vineyard person, I would definitely be in AG. I think
Because you like the more celebratory worship. Your
yes, and
your
some
worship
other
style
things.
is probably fits AG more than Vineyard in some ways.
Probably the other thing too is that I really feel like the heart for including women and the heart for missions is really something that we're just really learning and developing in the last 5 years in our movement. And so,
Yeah.
um, but the other thing with that is that we are church planters. You and I are church planters. We've planted. This is our second church plant, and we've um, been involved in planting other ministries as well. And when you're planting, you do a brand new thing. And I was like, how does that work? But what I love about what God's involving us in now is it is a new work. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
Bringing it's a blended family kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. It's taking resources, strengths and weaknesses from two groups and merging them into one. Mostly we hear about churches splitting. We're an exception. In fact, I remember in the beginning of the summer, we had our regular lunch at Pump House, and I was complaining about how expensive rentals were. We were looking at several rentals. In fact, I was driving around yesterday, door dashing, and looking at different buildings that we had conceived renting. Would have been much more expensive. Would have spent a lot of money remodeling. And I was just complaining about how it seemed like the task was impossible. And we're out in the parking lot, and you threw out a crazy idea.
And you were telling me about the costs, and we weighed those costs and we had been in the thick of that and had been through that process. That's ultimately why we bought the building that we were in. You know, we were over on Main Street, and we weren't looking at renting a new spot, but we were looking at just the possibility of building on that property. And they were telling us it was going to cost, just for the building process, not including the mortgage we already had on the property, over $2 million additional dollars.
Oh my gosh.
And that's if the city would have approved it. And so, like, we were standing in the parking lot. It was cold. It was wet. I know it was summer, but it was like or early in the summer, but it was cold and it was wet. I remember that very specifically, and my heart went out to you guys, because it's like, you know, having to go through that and having to, you know, you were talking about putting, you know, upwards of $100,000 into a build out with no guarantee that you'd ever be able to recoup those costs. And
Yeah,
that
and
was
the build out was in a location which was really hard to find. It would not have been an ideal location. It would have been like it would have been the street address for this location is on a different street. You have to drive around the back of a building to get to it.
right. And so, like, you know, we're standing in the parking lot, and my heart went out to you.
Should old acquaintance